All right, let's talk about something that I think a lot of us can relate to. You know that feeling like you're just constantly running on a hamster wheel? You're working all the time, your schedule is absolutely packed, but then you look at your bank account and it's just empty. If that hits a little too close to home, then you're probably stuck in what's called the busy but broke paradox. I mean, think about it. You're up early, your calendar is just a wall of meetings and to-do lists, you're working nonstop, but the money just isn't there. It doesn't reflect all that effort, right? It's super frustrating. And that's exactly what we're going to dig into here. We're getting to the bottom of that one big question. Why are you always so busy, but still so broke? Okay, so here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at the busy but broke paradox itself. Then, we'll talk about the huge difference between being busy and being productive. After that, we'll cover 3 big reasons you might be stuck, talk about a major money blind spot, and finally, lay out a path to success. Let's get into it. All right, first up, the busy but broke paradox. So what does this actually mean? Let's really get into what it feels like to be caught in this trap of working so hard, but just not getting ahead. And yeah, this is really the core of it, isn't it? You're working all day long. I mean, you feel busy every single moment. But that bank balance, it's just not moving. It's this feeling of constant motion but zero forward momentum, especially when it comes to your money. You're putting in all the hours, you're totally exhausted, and for what? The rewards just aren't there. And honestly, that's a one-way ticket to burnout. So how in the world do you break out of this cycle? Well, it all starts with getting your head around one absolutely critical idea, the difference between just being busy and being truly productive. Okay, this is the big one. It's a bit of an uncomfortable truth, but here it is. Being busy is not the same thing as being productive. Not even close. See, we're taught to think that as long as we're doing something, we're achieving something. But that's a total myth. The number of hours you put in, it's almost meaningless if the work you're doing isn't creating real, actual value. Let's look at the difference. Over here in the busy column, you've got all the stuff that eats up our days, right? Mindlessly scrolling social media, trying to get to inbox zero, sitting in meetings that could have been an email, all that low-value work. It feels productive, but it's not. Now, on the other side, productive activities, these are the game changers, things that actually build your skills, things that increase your income, stuff that creates long-term results. That's where the magic happens. Okay, so if we get the difference, why is it still so ridiculously hard to break free from the busy trap? Let's really diagnose this thing. It usually comes down to 3 hard truths that keep people stuck, just spinning their wheels. All right, hard truth number 1. You're trading your time for money. I mean, this is how most of us are taught the world works, right? The classic 9 to 5. But here's the thing. It's a trap, a big one. Why? Because there are only so many hours in a day. You can't make more time. That means there's a hard cap, a ceiling, on how much you can ever earn. And this quote just nails it. If you stop working today, your income stops too. That's not freedom. That's survival. Think about that. That's not freedom at all. It's just survival mode. The real goal isn't about being lazy or not working. It's about building something, a system, where your income isn't directly tied one-to-one to the hours you're physically on the clock. So what's the way out? Well, successful people do it differently. They invest their time in things that grow. They learn high-income skills, things like great communication, digital skills, problem solving. They build assets and systems that work for them, so their income isn't just about trading hours for dollars. Okay, let's get to hard truth number 2. You say yes to everything. Come on, you know what I'm talking about. You want to be seen as helpful, you don't want to let anyone down, so you agree to every little request that comes your way. But you have to realize, every single time you say yes to something that doesn't really matter, you're also saying no to something that actually does. You're saying no to your own priorities. And this really boils down to a huge shift in your mindset. See, busy people are always reacting. Their entire day is controlled by their email inbox, by phone notifications, by what other people want from them. But successful people, they choose. They're proactive. They figure out their most important priorities first, and then they guard their time like a fortress to make sure they get that stuff done. Okay, we've covered a lot, but there's one more really important piece to this whole puzzle. We can call it the money blind spot. And honestly, if you don't get this part right, it doesn't matter how productive you are. You'll still end up broke. Seriously? Just think about this for a sec. You probably plan your work projects down to the last detail. Your calendar is organized, you have your to-do lists, but do you give your money that same kind of attention, that same strategic planning? For most people who are stuck being busy but broke, the answer is a big, fat no. The money comes in and then, poof, It's just gone. And when you don't have a plan for your money, the results are pretty predictable, right? There's no budget to tell you where your cash is going. There's no investment plan to help it grow. And there's definitely no real plan for the future. You're basically trying to fly a plane in the dark with no instruments. It's so true. Money doesn't grow where there's no direction. You've got to give every single dollar a job to do. You have to be the boss and tell it where to go. You go to savings. You go into investments. You go pay down that debt. Because trust me, if you don't give your money a plan, it will find a way to spend itself. And you're probably not going to like where it ends up.
Okay, so we've really picked apart the problem, right? We know what's causing it. Now for the good part, the most important part, really. What's the path to success? How do we actually do this? How do we stop the busy work and start building a better future?
You know, the answer is actually really simple. That doesn't mean it's easy, but it is simple. Number one, you have to stop doing more. And number two, you have to start doing what actually matters. The goal isn't to pile more onto your plate. It's to change what's on your plate in the first place. It's about getting rid of the junk so you have room for the important stuff. And really, if you take away one thing, let it be this. Being busy, that just makes you tired. That's all it does. But being focused, that's what makes you successful. Chasing busy is a race to the bottom. It just leads to burnout. But cultivating real focus on the right things, now that is the path to actually getting what you want. So I want to leave you with a challenge. Don't try to change everything all at once. That never works. Just start with one small thing. What's one meeting you can say no to? One notification you can turn off? One pointless task you can just delete from your list? So think about it. What is the one busy task you are going to eliminate tomorrow to start making space